Hello, welcome to the queue. It is Operation Mayday, and it is the final Mayday. Turn 11 for the USA. You'll notice some extra units here on the board. Um, the Soviets did drop some nukes on us here in the United States, which freed up our forces to place and use. They also destroyed a base, actually two bases, which freed up our counter value units here. We got to roll a dice here for one of our ballistic missile submarines, boomer, if you will. And let's roll that right now. So this base here, shipyard, was where it should have been. It gets to escape on a 7 or higher. Damn it. So it's gone. All right, so that means I got one less attack coming up here. Speaking of that, we have a whole new phase to the turn, and it is called Strategic Nuclear Attack Phase. So you'll get to see that here. But first up is damage. We got to repair damage. This is the last turn, so we are not buying anything, so we'll just use all of our money to repair damage. The only one that really matters, though, is this here. 4 damage on our missile silo. So that way we can use our ICBMs here. Now that I think about it, I don't know how you get more ICBMs. I mean, I get 2 here. I didn't really see where you could buy them, but I guess you have to, would be my assumption, because I only get 2 to fire this turn for the 2 missile silos here in Central and Great Lakes. But first up, we've done a repair. Let's do our technology, and this is the only one that matters. And I'll show you why here in a second. We're just going to go for SDI, and I got 2 dice, 10 or higher. The whole point of this turn was to make it close, but now I can't. So here is the victory points as we start this turn. Warsaw Pact gets 2 points for every NATO country they have. They have West Germany and they have France. They don't have all of Spain, so that doesn't count. So they get 4 points. The Soviets have 2 in the Middle East for Macau and Tehran, I believe. And then they have 2 here in Africa for Morocco, and we're gonna try and take that one away. The U.S. I thought we get 3 for clearing Africa, but we have to clear Africa and the Middle East, so that was never even on the table. And then if I would have rolled SDI, that would have been 2. That's gone. So now I just have 2 for the U.S. For the Latin America being free of communist forces. So NATO, yeah, big 0 there. The good news is if you have 0, you can't lose anymore. So 0 is a 0. Because after you add up all your victory conditions here, we have on here some reduction of points, and we'll go through that. And that's how I was hoping to make it even or close, was to take points away from the communist forces by destroying things and taking back Morocco. So each destroyed base is a half or a quarter point. So the U.S. has to deduct 1/2. So basically, we're at 1.5 points, and we can't go any higher. So we're going to try and make them lower. Maybe if we can get Russia down to 0, maybe that's our good news. Destroyed points for the Warsaw Pact is a base for a quarter, and I think that's a minor city for a half. So they're 3/4. So they're at 3 1/4, and I do have an attack on them that could make them a little lower as well. I can't get them to 0 though, or even 1.5. So it is what it is, but we're going to try and get as close as we can point wise on this game. So let's look at what is next on the chart. And all right, no purchases. It's the nuclear attack phase. So let's do our stuff here. So basically, all this goes on the board. This is a strategic nuclear bomber, and that's all it can do. It can't do any other actions. So I'm going to need to paint up one so I can tell the difference between my other B-52s. It has the option of using this nuclear cruise missile or this nuclear gravity bomb. And obviously we're going to take that because the defense on that is at 2 versus the missiles at 4. So we'll put that on board, and that just goes on the dashboard for later use. We got our 2 ICBMs. I'm going to grab that and put that. No, let's do the subs first because I already got those missiles here on the board. So they actually come out of this shipyard here because it is also a nuclear shipyard. On their first turn, they can come out and move 7, which, you know, is helpful. But we're only going to need to go up here, which I think is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, which they could have moved there anyway. So, and then from there they launch and they follow up through the Black Sea, and we've got our advanced SLBMs. So let's take this one off because we lost that sub. So we have one sub attacking the silo here in Smolensk, and we're going to attack the other missile silo here in Leningrad, and that will be the 2 ballistic missile sub attacks. The ICBMs, we'll grab those. We'll grab our bomber. The interesting thing about the bomber is, and I didn't realize it at first, it has a movement of 8, but it's just 8 from the base, and then it's an auto return. So basically it's 16 if you needed it to. So the other interesting thing is we can fly over the North Pole. So we will go 1, 2, and then it costs 2 to go over the North Pole, 4, and we come in here, 5, 6, 7 into Moscow, where we will drop our gravity bomb. See what we can do, and that's 4 dice. You know what I need to do? There's going to be 2, whatchamacallit, I guess it will be anti-air defense against the bomber, 1 for the city, and then you would get 1 for having Top Gun tech completed. So that will be 2 at 2. All right, so we've got our ICBMs, which will come, I guess they can go anywhere on the globe. So we're going to attack this minor city in western Ukraine. What was the other one? Oh, minor city here in eastern Ukraine. So the Ukrainians are going to get dropped on here. 2 ICBMs. All right, so those attacks are completely separate from everything else. So let's roll those out. I'm not sure what those items were for, but we're going to take them off because it must have been during the planning there. Let's see, we've got our bomber, we've got our ICBMs, and we have 2 advanced SLBMs from the subs. So that's our nuclear attack. Let's set this down, maybe widen it just a hair. Whoop, that's the other way. So we can see the dice tray. I'm going to lean over everything here and chuck these dice. All right, so first up, let's do the anti-air defense for Moscow. Oh, damn it. I wanted so bad to bomb Moscow. Let's see what I would have had here if I would have been able to. No, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. We wouldn't have destroyed it. Still irritating that anti-aircraft shot me down again in the final phases of the game. All right, so next up we will have an air defense or a missile defense dice here at the missile silo in Leningrad, and that's at a 4. So that misses. That's good. So we got 3 dice there. I don't know what I did with my dice. All right, we need 9 here. That's definitely cocked, but we got 2 1s for crying out loud, so we can't get it. Oh my gosh, 3 damage. Every single thing that could have gotten us closer here is going wrong. Next, in Smolensk, we got a AMD at 4. That misses. Now we've got 3 dice. There's a destroy, so we actually get the place out. That nuclear bomb, we destroyed 1 facility there, that missile silo. Next up, we'll do the ICBM in Western Ukraine, and that will have an AMD of 4. Misses. I didn't realize I had dice in the tray. We need 10 or higher here. We get 10. Oh, we needed 11 to destroy it. Doggone it. All right. So in Eastern Ukraine is our last one. AMD at a 4. Oh, good deal. All right. Last opportunity. 9, 11. We do get it destroyed. So in Smolensk here, that one is destroyed. So we did destroy 2. And we max damaged 1, and we stunk on the other one. So that's not really going to help us a lot. This is a half a point for the city and a quarter point for the base. But we still have some more opportunity to destroy some stuff because we're doing some more attacks. All right. So that's the nuclear. We would land our bomber, but it got shot down. So how exciting. All right, so now on to regular attacks. I don't need that dice tray up there. Let's go on to our regular attacks. So we're firing a theater missile here at this air base, trying to knock it out. We've got our B-1 bomber that doesn't even have to move from Marmara. It'll fire 1, 2, and we'll do the paving strike in the air base, followed up with the other nukes to try and bring that out. We have 1 extra cruise missile, which will go in to try and knock it out as well. Maybe we can get our Battlestar there. Who knows? Probably not. Our 2 B-52s will come out of Marmara into M5, where they will fire 4 cruise missiles into, I don't know what that is, Hungary. All right. So they do not have AMD, so it'll be 4. And we don't need our spy satellite because we have PGMs, but we're going to bring it out anyway, just for fun, right? All right, so each one of those we get is a half a point reduction, so that's kind of nice. All right, so next up, you'll notice that there's a Navy here that there wasn't. If you watched Flak 88's video during the recap, he was given in the chat. He moved the fleet, the ships that did not attack. He moved those into here to try and keep me off of Morocco. But it's the last turn, so we're going all out, which is why you would sacrifice your fleet. All right. So first thing up is this sub here. In A49, 1, 2, well, it has a major port. So it comes 1, 2, 3, 4, fires 2 anti-ship missiles into that. So I'm going to put that on the dashboard, or on the battle board, I should say. The rest going in. This is all out. So we've got from the Caribbean, destroyer, 2 frigates, heavy cruiser, just a regular cruiser. We'll bring our fighter and attack bomber off the carrier. You know what? I don't think we can bring our carrier in. I was thinking we'd bring our carrier in to soak up hits, but I don't think we can. That's interesting. All right. So we've got a fighter here in, what is that, Puerto Rico. He'll come out and he'll join the fray. All right, so that means I've got 3 fighters, or 2 fighters and attack bomber. So that's this carrier. Let's see, the Top Gun. I don't know if there'll be room for him anywhere. Because from down here, we're going to bring in... Oh, you know what? That's right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the attack bombers don't have to land on the carrier. So I have 1 space here because he can go there and back as they have a movement of 9. So that means I can bring that Top Gun into this battle. All right, so from down here, we've got a nuclear attack sub, frigate, cruiser. Those will be the ships. So I'm going to bring those on over. And aircraft in the battle. I think we're going to bring 2 fighters. And the attack bomber is going to go and land here. This attack bomber will come out of South Africa and join the battle. All right, so that's the naval battle right there for the U.S. I have PGMs, so the fighters are good. So going into this battle will be ASF, Top Gun, fighter, 1 attack bomber, and then this Top Gun from over here. And I can bring the ASFs because they have these aircraft that can be taken. All right. So, and then I guess we can't, I don't think we can take our I guess that's a Global War 36 where you would soak up your hits with the carriers. Anyway, they'll be in that zone when we're done. Going into, on the land battle, we've got our 2 assault ships that will grab 2 helos, 2 Marines, and an MBT. And they'll go in there, and we'll roll that later. This assault ship will come over with 2 Marines and a artillery. And that guy, Lowly Sealift, he'll have to go home because there's no place for him. All right, so naval battle. Maybe we can win our battle star there, naval battle star. Amphibious assault there in Morocco. Get that taken care of. I think that is it. There's no other land battles, so we're golden. All right, so first up, let's go ahead and roll here for our paving strike. So the white dice is the AMD at a 4. Misses, so 5. But I think it's a D2 or D3. So that, I think that'll be 2 damage. Let's just say that one's 2. All right. Now we've got our cruise missile, which is a D2, and our nuclear missile. What is it? The AGM-86. All right. All right. So that is 9 plus 2 is 11, and that one is destroyed nuclear style. All right, so that's another quarter point. So good news there. 1/4, 1/2, 1. So we've reduced the Soviets by 1 point. Let's see if we can get another quarter here. Our theater missile. AMD at a 4. No good. And it is 2 dice. No, we couldn't. All right, so 5 damage there. All right, so lots of damage to go around, but not as many destructions as we wanted. All right, so we've got our 2 B-52s firing 4 cruise missiles into here with target select and no AMD from the Warsaw Pact people. So that means we will have 4 dice at 5. We'll go ahead and roll that up here. Oh, serious? I got 1. All right, so that means Warsaw Pact will have a reduction of 1.25 points. All right, doggone it. All right, well, such is life. So let's do the naval battle. The 3 frigates will be on missile defense. And let me just set this down and I will bring over the Soviet ships. All right, so defending Diesel. Oh, nope, Diesel's here. Oh, that's ballistic. All right. So the aircraft cruiser, heavy aircraft cruisers defend at 5. That's interesting. 2 cruisers at 6 and a 4. All right, so we've got a 4 is going to be our nuclear attack sub. Our frigates are all at 2. We've got 2 cruisers at 6. Destroyer at 4. Fighters, we've got 4 fighters, 2 attack bombers. All right, so should be easy, right? Should be easy. Getting that off so I can see that any target selects. All right, so first up will be, oh, we got a lovely shadow there on the board. I hate shadows. There's really no way around it. I guess I can try and slide all this up because it doesn't matter now. I'll move this up, move this up, move that up. All right, so let's give her a little height, get the shadow away. Now we got a glare from the door, light coming in the door. Oh well. All right, so coming up is 3 frigates at 4 against my anti-ship missiles. Oh, wow, 11, 2 11s and a 12. Nice. All right. Almost destroyed everything. Sorry about that. That probably gave some people a heart attack. So now my 2 anti-ship missiles at 5. And I did get 1. And we get to target select that, so we'll take that destroyer. Because I didn't look up to see if the heavy cruisers had the phalanx. I know the cruisers do. So he is out of the battle. All right, so let's roll some dice. And I kind of do have to roll these separate because, oh no, I don't. Surface target, yeah, I do. Because the attack sub has a surface target, whereas the destroyer has a sub target, which doesn't really matter because I'm sure they'll take that casualty anyway. All right, so here's our 3 frigates at 2. There's 1 hit, so that will be 1 general hit. And I guess it's more important to see the dice. All right, so let's take the blue dice. Will be the submarine, and this is the 4s for the sub and the destroyer. They both miss. All right, so we've got 3 4 fighters, and you know what? Let's color coordinate it. The 2 yellows. It's hard to get the dice out of here. The 2 yellows will be the 2 cruisers, and the blue will be the fighters. All right, so both cruisers get target select. So obviously we target select their cruisers. And then I got 2 more hits off the fighters, and they have a land target select, but there's no land targets. All right, so we're up to 3 general hits left. Next and finally is the 2 attack bombers at 7. Oh wow, 2 hits. All right, so that will be 5 total hits. We've taken our 2 target selects, so and they've already fired, so they're done. That's 3 frigates, 4, and I think these hit get 2 hits. I think they're like a carrier. I think they take 2 hits. So 1 hit there. All right, so returning fire will be the sub because it wasn't a first strike. At a 3, he misses. We got the 2 heavy aircraft cruisers at 5. They both hit, so there's 2 hits there. And then the 2 cruisers, and they do have target select as well. And they do get a target select. So they're going to take one of our cruisers. And then we got 2 more hits, so obviously 2 frigates. And round 2, let's just roll our 4 fighters and the cruiser. And hopefully we get 3 hits. We get 1, 2. We get 2. All right. So let's roll the 2 attack bombers at 7. There's our 3rd hit. And just for grins, submarine, destroyer. So we got 5 hits, so that will be it. So they have 2 at 5 left. And they get 1 more. I'm assuming at this point we'll just lose a fighter. All right, so the good news is the battle is over. I guess I need to battle board that other one. So let me set that down. We'll place all that stuff in the C zone, not that it matters. Here's the Soviet defenders. Air Cav, attack helicopter, marine. Oh, mechanized. They're all up there pretty high, so we don't have any anti-ship missiles there. All right, so let's bring in the goods. And trying to do this and not knock over the camera for a second time. All right, so the 2 top guns are air superiority +1. So they'll be at 6. The other ASF will be at 5. The artillery and the main battle tank do not get to participate in round 1. We have a fighter, attack bomber, 4 Marines, 2 attack helicopters, so they'll boost those Marines to 4. All right, so it should be a pretty easy, safe battle here. No first strikes. So let's roll our ASFs first. So the 2 blue dice will be the top guns. 2 hits, so that'll be the 2 helicopters. Next up, we'll have 4 for the Marines, 4 at 4. 1 hit. And 2 attack helicopters and a fighter at 6. So the 2 attack helicopters get 2 hits, so that'll be it. We have 1 attack bomber left. And it misses. All right, so defending will be 3 at... Or do I need to roll? No, it doesn't matter because the other units aren't in. 3 at 4, there's nothing. And the mechanized infantry at 5. 1 hit, so we'll lose a Marine. And that territory is reclaimed for the U.S. Let's just put a marker there for grins. All right, so that does remove 2 victory points from the Russians. We were able to destroy, I forget what the count was. There's a half, quarter, so that is 1 point total. That was it. All right, so that leaves the Russians with 1 victory point, and we managed to knock off a half. There's a half, so that brings them down to 3, actually 2 3/4, and the U.S. is at 1.5. So it's still overwhelmingly a victory for the forces of communism. All right, so that is the end of the turn. Hopefully I did all that correctly. I know my dice rolling was terrible, as it seems to have been most of this game. I didn't keep a counter of how many aircraft I lost, but it was quite a few. And now in this game, you get to lose missiles to anti-air defenses. That's exciting too. All right, so we are going to take a little break, maybe a week, week and a half, and we're going to come back, but we're going to flip sides. Uh, Captain G and myself will be the forces of red, and the forces of capitalism will be Tabletop Tactician and Flak 88. So look for that. It'll be Operation Turning Point. And like I said, it'll probably start in about a week and a half. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed the game.